So today I was looking at, why is it that even when someone's on a path that they know they're supposed to be walking, even though they, even maybe had affirmation or confirmation that like, you're going in the right direction, you're doing what, God has called you to do. Why is it that sometimes we feel that sense of pressure to take another path? Not necessarily like, doing something crazy, but we feel pressure to take another path. And I started looking and researching, and of course, took time to even look up the word pressure. Like, okay, well, what does pressure even mean? Like, we know kind of the ins and outs of like peer pressure, right? We know, like, oh, somebody pressured me into doing this, or, blah, 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 blah. So I took time to say, okay, well, let's look at pressure. The word pressure in and of itself means, to apply a physical force to something that is in contact with. Like, so to apply a physical force against something that it is in contact with. So that's pressure. And instantly I'm like, well, is there anything or any way that someone or something, sticking with inanimate objects, that something can apply pressure to something without it actually touching? And that answer is no. Like, when you actually look at pressure in and of itself, let's sticking to inanimate objects, there's no way for anything to apply pressure to something without it actually being in contact with that thing. So in our day-to-day lives, I begin to study and see like, the only way you can fall into any type of pressure for you to divert the path that you're on is by the things that you're in contact with. And so let's look at the things like what do we come into contact with, right? In American society, yeah, you got media, you got social media, you got different societal norms that you've come to accustomed to hearing throughout your childhood, throughout the development of your life. You have certain things maybe you've seen or witnessed or seen other people experience. And so as you've seen other people experience it, you're like, oh, well, what if that happens to me? Like, you have all these different things that you come into contact with that you allow to stay on you. What happens if you remove those, right? What happens if you take the time to say, hey, I know right now, I'm looking at all this, I've heard all this. But if I take time to shed those things off, right? If I take time to shed those things off, what am I left with? Am I left with the reality in the sense of, hey, there's nothing diverting me from this path that I'm walking. There's nothing trying to pressure me, even in turn trying to pressure me from going this other way. And that allows me to see, I can see clearly, like, while I felt certain pressure, when I take a step back, oh no, yeah, I am on the right path. When I allow the things that I've come into contact with me to get off of me, oh yeah, no, I can clearly see this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And breaking that down even more, and why I bring that up, because I started thinking, well, if it's what we come into contact with, or what if I say, well, let God be a greater contact? Well, that in and of itself wouldn't relieve that pressure, because I started to say, well, let's say I had a big wall pushing me, right? I had a big wall pushing me, or I yielded myself to God. I said, hey, God, this is what I want, blah blah blah. This is my desire, so I allow that desire to build up, and I say, okay, it's pushing me to go this direction. It's pushing me to walk this path. Well, guess what? If you take something that has very small contact, like let's say a needle or a nail or whatever, and somebody starts pressing that on you, then guess what? Your thought is, oh, hold on, let me not go this way. Why? Because I fear I will get hurt. Let me not walk this path, or let me, do what I can to alleviate this pressure, because even though it's a small point of contact, like I fear I'm going to get hurt if I don't comply with this pressure, right? So, what are you in contact with? The little things, right? Sometimes we think about the big things. Like, yes, it's, who you are around is very important, right? Who you had the most contact with is very important. But what about those little things like societal norms? Have you taken time to address, like, in your mind, and renew your mind and say, oh, those societal norms don't matter. They really don't apply to me. Are you still allowing those things to kind of murk around in your mind and not address them So you can say, no, like, bruh, this is the path I'm supposed to be walking, whether concerning my quote unquote destiny, concerning my calling, concerning whatever, right? Have you taken the time to really shed those things off so you can walk this path, not being double minded, not saying, oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. Because really, like, and really, like I said, when that pressure gets applied, you allow it to start becoming your thoughts, right? So when that pressure is applied, it's like, oh, well, I feel like I'm gonna get hurt. I feel like something's gonna go wrong if I don't comply with this pressure. So maybe this is working. Maybe this will be better for me. It won't be better for you. I promise you. So instead of me trying to comply with this pressure to alleviate the pain, to make sure I don't get hurt, let me take time to address. Oh, this is a small point of contact. This is something that's pressuring me. Let me just remove that thing so I can keep going. Yeah, I love y'all. Hope y'all have a great day. Peace.